I'm like a more unkempt butterbean without the cardio. So
That's you're just butter.
just butter.
Let's not give it loud for everybody for Anthony Eugenio. We're gonna have next time. Very funny. Wayne Russell, everybody.
Welcome to the Open Mic Pain with Anthony and Wayne podcast.
I'm doing good. I was driving around with the kid that I'm working with now in my territory, and we were, I'll like bounce bit ideas off him. So we'll just talk like comedy and some. I was just like kind of getting a game plan together for this weekend, and I mentioned to him, I was like, there's a joke I used to do about a guy with a one-armed man, and I haven't done it in a while. And I told him the joke, and he said something that made me think of, how like fortunately for Paul, I was a slow ass kid, was kind of hit or miss.
Yeah, I liked it.
I did too, but he he was like he had what the kid said was he's only got one arm, but he's got two really good legs. And I was like, man, I wonder what if I try it like that? Like, luckily for me, Paul only had the one hand, but he was fast as fuck, or something like I don't know, just like a different angle to it a little bit.
Well, I like the idea of, and I've been thinking about this more, of doing something like that only to make it more conversational. And not even like a planned version, just do it different. You know what I mean? Like, just do the joke and go, I'm not going to, like in Dick Spencery, for instance, you do that joke and you have a part where you're like, what kind of dick do you want? Mutton chop, blah, 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 blah. And you have that nice little rhythm. And it's nice. It's like a song, like it flows, but I feel like it takes people out of the fact that they think they're having a conversation with you. Yep. And more into the fact that they're seeing a bit.
Yep.
And I don't know, because there are some comics that are one-liners that you're in a bit because they turn on the bits, and it's good. But there are, like, a lot of the advice you get is to be more conversational and to try to make it seem like it's the first time you're telling the story.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Well, how do you feel on that? Because I'm kind of like, the more experience I get, the more conflicted I am on the basic advice that we get. Because there's so many different, ways to do it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't think any piece of advice works for everybody or for every bit. It could just change, like maybe 10, 15 years down the line, or even 5 years down the line, where our character, our stage persona might call for a style. You know what I mean? Like, Louis has his style, Bill Burr has his style, where we both have different bits that don't fit all the same style, but they're good jokes. They work for us. We can fit them in. But maybe in 5 years, maybe Dick Spencer is not the type of joke I'm doing. Maybe, those more outlandish things are not what I'm doing, or me, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I heard Mark Norman say in a podcast that if you want to figure out like his interpretation of what finding your voice is like eventually you'll have enough material where you'll have jokes that stand out. And you're like, these 5 jokes are my best jokes. And he's like, find the common thread in those 5 best jokes you have. And that's where your voice is. And I thought that was a pretty cool way to kind of come up with that, thought.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I just think, at this point in the game, we're not there yet. I think both of us could stand on stage for 20 to 30 minutes. And it doesn't mean it's our best. It doesn't mean they're the most polished jokes. You know what I mean? There might be jokes that hit sometimes and not others. Some hit all the time. Some may not hit at all. I don't know. But I think that's a good piece of advice. When you get a set of jokes that work everywhere in the world. That
I'll never know that.
No, but the ones that hit 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to get the ones that work 4 out of 10 I'm trying to make them work to 8 out of 10. Like that's been my goal the last 2 weeks. Has just been grinding out those bits.
It's funny you mentioned that because I'm actually doing the same thing. I'm looking at a lot of my older stuff that I haven't been doing. You know, I've been getting these opportunities with people, and because they're opportunities, I'm putting my best foot forward. You know, I haven't been taking the risks. I haven't been doing, you know, multiple shows for Booker A and multiple shows for Booker B and multiple for C. It's like, hey, I'm getting a shot with these few people. I would put my best foot forward. And you do that for, the first 2, 3, 4 times that you do a show for them and they're there. You want to make sure it goes really well so they know that you can repeat. That's the stage I'm in. You have a couple guys that are throwing you on a lot of shit. So I think you're at a different part where for those guys, you can kind of focus on those, I'll call them B-list jokes. Those jokes kind of got swept under the rug that is not like it's not your prize pony.
Yeah, there's like there's a level that you hit with a booker, which is nice, where they have seen you do well a few times, enough so that they know what you're capable of. And I think once you get to that level, think about it through your own perspective. If you work with somebody 10 times and you've seen them crush 5 times, you want to see them do other shit. Try some new shit. Fuck around. Right. Who cares?
Yep.
And there's some bookers that I've gotten luckily to that level with where they'll tell me like, oh man, I've seen your act. Do some new shit. Let's go take some risks. Try some new shit. And that's been invaluable. I got to do that at the Valentine's Day show, and I riffed a bit out of it that I use now. And it's I like the bit. It's a very good bit.
Yeah.
It did make me say the N-word on stage. I say, in parentheses, the N-word. And they didn't like that. Who knew? Who knew that word was taboo?
I know somebody who, speaking of that, it made me think of the Louis bit. But I know somebody who, at work, they were having a conversation, and it was about, like, slang and stuff that, like, people's kids say. And this person said, yeah, I had an issue where my kid was saying the N-word, or had said the N-word. And somebody in that conversation decided to go to HR and say, that made me feel uncomfortable. And the person I know got in trouble for not saying the word, but just saying, like, hey, Mike, this was a struggle that I went through parenting where my kid learned that word and I had to put a stop to it.
Damn, that sucks.
They got sent to HR. And they had
if you're going to get sent to HR, you want a hard R N-word. You want to use it, man.
I would have been screaming on the way there. Like, let's make this count.
Exactly.
But it made me think of that Louis bit where he says, I hate anytime some old white lady on CNN says the N-word.
Yeah, it puts the word in my head. You might as well just say it. It's true. Yeah, like, I would never say the N-word unless, like, if you blindfolded me and threw Legos on the floor and I stepped on them, I couldn't. I probably would say the N-word at least once. That would definitely come out. That hurts so bad. That's a cliche hack idea that you're going to have kids and you're going to step on a Lego and it's going to hurt. And then you have kids and you step on a Lego and you're like, there's nothing, childbirth here, stepping on a Lego here, like 100%. It's debilitating. Lay on the floor for an hour.
Do you ever watch that show, The Toys That Made Us?
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Lego one? That was incredible.
I didn't see the Lego one now.
Oh, dude. So the Legos that they made, the precision in a Lego, the Legos they made in like 1970 whatever, are made so precise throughout the decades. You can put them together with any other Lego made from then until like one that came hot off the presses today.
That's all that means is that they're so cheap that they won't buy a new machine. They're just using the same machine. It looks exactly the same. It's like, yeah, dude, it's got a fucking swastika on it. That's from the 40s. What are you doing? They're definitely German, right? The Legos, they have to be.
I think they were Swiss? Swedish? What's the difference between Swiss and Swedish?
Your low brain cells. It's the Swedish. You know what? I'm with you. I don't know. I don't get it. I wanted to
I've
call you
never seen
stupid,
Swedish cheese.
Yeah, you have Swiss cheese, and a person is Swedish. They're not Swish though. Swish.
But there's like Swiss engineering, which like their Swiss engineering is a big thing.
You could say Swedish engineering. And then you're like, it's Switzerland is the name of the place, and you're like, can you guys pick a name?
Oh, that's it.
Schwitz.
Swiss is Switzerland. Swedish is
Sweden. That's the difference. All right, folks, you heard it here first. Switzerland and Sweden are two different places.
Oh my god.
See, I have the
This
benefit.
late anymore.
I have the benefit of just inhaling an amount of weed that would kill a dragon, and you're fine. Damn. All right, segue. I've been watching the Diddy documentary.
There's a Diddy documentary?
There's a lot of Diddy documentaries, but there's one on Max that I'm watching in particular, the HBO thing. Oh, it's good. It's good because it's basically stories of him beating the shit out of somebody in public that was a woman.
Was that the one where he was in the towel?
That's in one of them. That's like the most famous one probably. But he did it forever. Like there's college stories of him beating the shit out of ladies and things. But every story is followed up by like, all right, and then Diddy smacked her in the face and dragged her by her hair outside and threw her off a second-story building. But then he wrote the song "I'm Missing You" for Biggie, and like that was so good. And that's like, and then they just go on like, he's so good. God damn, is he so good? And they go on about that for 10 minutes, and then it will be like dun dun dun, and then someone will come and be like, but he's kind of a dick. And then it will be another 10 minutes of him beating the shit out of somebody. I haven't got to the sex parties yet. I'm working my way up to him.
Have you seen the videos of him on like talk shows where he's talking to celebrities? Like, oh yeah, I met your kid. And then you see the celebrity's face drops.
No, but
Oh, dude, yeah. He was on so many of these talk shows. He says some like outlandish shit, and you can see the power he has. And in the moment, if you didn't know any of this was going on, you wouldn't think anything of it. But in hindsight, you watch it and you see the people's reactions. You're like, oh fuck.
I feel like it's not real. Like I just feel like it's not real. It's like Epstein. Like when you hear about the Epstein thing, and you're like, so you're saying there's a pedophile island where all the most rich and famous people in the world, including Tom Hanks, went to and banged underage women? Alex Jones. And you're like, holy shit, all of that's real? It's kind of like the same thing with Diddy, where you're like, 7,000 gallons of fucking lube. And then they show the picture of the pallet, and you're like, oh my god. God damn. Guy was buying it by the 55-gallon drum. That's hard to ship.
Yeah, no shit. 7,000, that's a lot of drums.
Yeah, he had to get a tap. He had to literally get a tap for his lube. There's no other way to... Imagine the practicality of being his assistant, and you're in like I guess at that point you'd go to like a brew shop, and you'd be like, I need a tap, and they're like, all right, well, what's the temperature of the beer? It's not beer. Oh,
We prefer it to
cold,
actually
right?
be a little warm, actually.
Yeah, it's going to be a little warm. Actually, it'd be nice if it was a little warm. You don't have to rub it in your hands, and the guy's like, what? You got to go through that. What micron filter are you going to use to get the lube out? All the practicalities, I would think of that. Like, Diddy's not thinking about this. He's just saying, get me the lube, dog. He'd probably say it like that. That's racist of me, but I'm sure he said it like that. I've heard him say it. Anyways, and then a guy goes out and he's got to get it. It's exactly like the Dave Chappelle sketch. It's literally the same thing is what he did. But in there, he said Cambodian breast milk, and he probably got Cambodian breast milk, now that I think about it. That's probably one of the things that he made them do. How did Dave know so much? I wonder if he was involved in it.
He probably was.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, he would get anybody. Like, how Leonardo DiCaprio was not gotten by this is incredible, by the way. Because it's like, wait a minute. Island of what they would call barely legal because he was tricking you. And they were barely illegal. People think that Epstein's Island was like a bunch of... That's what it was, I'm telling you. Epstein's Island, everybody thinks it was like a bunch of 8-year-olds and they like that. And that's not what it was. It was a trick to like make people think you were bitches banging a college girl, but in reality, they were just slightly underage, so that they would have it on video and that they would blackmail like famous politicians and stuff. That was the whole thing, and apparently Tom Hanks. So they did that a bunch of times, and I'm just saying, Leonardo DiCaprio, that's like his ball. Like he's a major league college girl banger. That's like his profession. Maybe he's too good. You think that's what it was? You think he could like, it's kind of like Catch Me If You Can? He's like, oh, no. I know. I know.
He's like in Hocus Pocus. He was like smelling them like, this one's too fresh.
This one's got 45 days left. Don't you dare try to trick me.
Put it back in the fridge.
Leo likes it medium rare, not rare. You know this, Jeffrey.
I told you that comment that I saw right on the steak video, where the guy cooked the steak and like he like overcooked it, and the top comment was, "That steak's not well done. It's congratulations."
Yeah, that is
maybe
like
the best comment
line
I've ever seen.
Well, good transition off to pedophilia. Good job, Wayne. That's a good way to get off of it. I'm just saying that it's like, again, we're all looking at the concept. Think about the practicality. This guy buys an island, and they're like, well, how would you take down every famous person in the entire world and every politician? What a plan. I'm just saying it worked a bunch of times. Like, you try to go do that. No way.
Yeah, I don't think I could.
I don't think you could do it.
I procrastinate too much. That's my problem.
Yeah,
that's the only thing stopping me. Yep.
The girls would end up aging into 18 because you'd be procrastinating too long. You'd be like, rats! Consensual again. Damn it! Pretty sweet, though. I mean, not to do any of that, but I'm just saying to pull it off is almost like, I'm trying to think of something horrible that in the end you kind of respect because of how... It's like Kane or something like that when he came in and he was just ruining all the WWF superstars. And you were like, damn, this is evil, but impressive. Like, I'm like, God damn. If you think about how hard that was. You're giving kind of thumbs up with it, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. I saw this thing about like Kane and the WWE. I don't know why I'm going into this, but like the legacy of the name Kane. There was like Kane, the Undertaker was originally Kane the Undertaker. There was Kane, his brother, when he came in. But then there was some random black guy in the middle who had the name Kane as a wrestler, and and I don't know how that fits in. I don't think it has anything to do with any of them, but it was spelled Kane. I'm gonna have to look that up. I saw it. I was like, huh, that's interesting. Never looked into it more, but
there are probably times where Vince McMahon's head was so far stuffed into a poor lady's bosom that he was just like gurgling out names. He's like, I don't know, just fucking Kane. I don't care. Get the hell out of here.
He came up with some weird shit, man. Like when Mae Young gave birth to the hand, Mark Henry's baby, it was just a severed hand.
Ew.
Yeah, it was weird. And then the Dudley Boys power bombing her through tables night after night.
Well, think about it. If you wrote a storyline and you had to write a new one every night for like however many years that he wrote storylines, and then you get to the point where you're like Steve Martin in Madison Square Garden where you're just like, meh, and everybody starts laughing. You're like, I can do whatever I want. I can start making every storyline about a hot chick trying to bang me. Anybody get mad at that? And no one did. I grew up with that, and I'm like, I don't remember him doing that. And you watch the documentary, you're like, God damn.
It's all the hindsight's 2020. You know, everybody does all this stuff back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and it's like, yeah, that's just the way it is. And then in 2020, you get the, I'm not saying it was right back then. That's Trigglypuff. You know Trigglypuff, yeah?
Trigglypuff, no. I don't know what
you
you
haven't
just
seen
did.
that meme?
I thought you just did R-word hands. I was like, what are you doing?
It was the meme. I forget what it was from. I think it was probably, you know, it was probably it was a political rally or something, but there's just this girl just sitting in the audience doing this with her hands and just screaming hate speech. And she was deemed by the internet as Trigglypuff.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, it sucks because everything is so polar with how we do things. Like we are, like Sean Connery slaps a reporter one time in the face, and it's like, you shut your slutty mouth. And then, and then now we can't say anything. Now we can't say anything anymore. Where if we were just like, Sean, wait till the camera's off to slap that bitch. Like, what are you doing?
That was a good impression. I always think of, whenever I think of Sean Connery, I always think of Alan Cummings on, I think he was on Conan, and he was talking about how he like sent Sean Connery a gift or something. He got a phone call from him. And he goes, I just pick up the phone, and it's Sean Connery, and he just goes, Alan, you slut. That's all he said.
Yeah, Sean, I mean, now that we're on it, kind of the biggest dog in like American history is Sean Connery. I know he's not American, but I'm claiming him because he was just such a bad. And then he faded off into obscurity, and he didn't like Gene Hackman himself, where he had to get Alzheimer's and die in his house a week after his wife. I don't even, is Sean Connery alive? He's dead as fuck, right?
Yeah, I think he died a long time ago.
And no one cared. They were just like, hell yeah, he went out fucking in the middle of 8 ladies. God damn, he was the best Bond of all time. He was like, get over here, you stupid bitch. So good. It's the hunt for Red October. Yeah, he's the greatest. Comedy.
Bird special comes out on Friday.
Yeah, did you see his Elon shit?
No, I haven't seen anything about it. I want to just watch it.
Well, it's not in the special. He was doing press for his the special, and he went on Elon.
No, I haven't seen nothing.
Called Elon a Nazi. I was like, hey.
Oh, dude, I saw the best. I saw the best thing ever while I was driving around yesterday. So I'm driving down the highway, and a Tesla pulls in front of me, and on the back is a circular sticker that has, you know, like the no smoking sign. It's like the circle with a line through it, but it just said Musk on the back of a Tesla.
It's like saying you hate somebody and giving them $80,000 is a weird way to say that.
No shit.
Yeah, I don't. It's so tough because I love cars that drive themselves. It's such. We've talked about this before. It's just too it's too good of a thing. It's kind of like sugar. You know what I mean? Like where if they just got rid of sugar, which is easy to do, like you can just make sugar illegal. I mean, weed's illegal, and weed is the greatest thing in the world. You can make sugar illegal, and everything would be better. There's no reason that you need sugar. No chance. Except to make beer good. So you got to keep it for that.
There's other things you use, honey.
No, gone. All that's out. You can't
Even
have
honey?
any sweet things. You can't have sweet things, Wayne.
Honey's good for you.
Shut the fuck up. You can't have anything. You're going to have straight you're on the RFK diet, baby. You got to do all the testosterone that he's doing. Anyways, all that said, you would be better if you did that. The world would be. Everybody would be happier. There'd be less death. There'd be no obesity. The world would be so great. But literally nobody wants that. Nobody wants that to happen.
Yeah.
That's the point. So some things are horrible, but you want them to happen because they're so good. That's my point.
Yeah, I'm not going to wax on that.
Wax on it, you pussy.
I'm not going to. There were so many things that came from so many horrible things. We can go down a rabbit hole. That's not good.
All I'm saying is that if you look at slavery, you're going to...
Who? Oh, yeah, that was the Louis joke. I was going to say, who did that joke? That was Louis. We talked about that a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, he sure did. I'm excited to do some new material. I didn't get to go to the 19 Carter.
I didn't either. I was upset about that.
Yeah. Next one.
April 7th, I think it is, right?
April motherfucking 7th. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Let's go do that one. I don't have a we don't have a host yet. We've got to come up with that.
Yeah, we do.
I want to make you do it, so you go. Wayne has to go now. He's the
I
host.
probably. Well, I think I'm going to be there anyways. But honestly, like hosting, I like hosting. Right? I've hosted showcases. I've hosted regular shows. Awesome.
Disgusting.
Did not like hosting the open mic. It was just, it's 5-minute sets. You don't have a breather. It's just, ugh.
Yeah, no one's doing anything good. So you're like, oh man, should I go up and that person bombed? Should I go up and do material in between? And you're like, it's an open mic. It's just gonna be long stretches of bombing.
Yes.
I love that. I got to go to Mulligan's last week, and that was like a nice back to open mics, and it was just really good to see, like, for instance, a guy go up and just sit on the stool and borderline cry for 5 minutes, and then get to silence, and then get off. And be like, yeah, he had nothing. He was just basically like, and then and I was like, this is great. This is different. It was just good. And I mean, like, legitimately, I enjoyed it. Because you get to the point where you see, like, I'm the opener on 90% of the shows I do. So you're always seeing, like, middles and headliners. So you're seeing people who are at least 5 to 10 years in. So there's a pattern and rhythm to their jokes.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's good to see that. Man, sometimes you just like to see an old-fashioned sloppy one, you know what I mean? Just a sloppy show of everybody not knowing timing and looking at the ground and crying and all kinds of fun stuff.
You might see that on Friday.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to do that because it's my show. I cry if I want. Cry at my show if I want.
Yeah, no, I'm going to... So I've kind of broken up what I think I'm going to do.
On Friday?
On Friday.
For our show?
Yep.
Oh, I don't even know why you're thinking about that. I haven't thought about myself for 1 second. I'm gonna go up there.
Well, because I wanted to, because I want to do well for Carolyn ahead of time, right? So I'm really thinking about, okay, I want to do this and that or whatever. But in the middle,
redemption,
because Carolyn was at my New Year's Eve show. She was the headliner, and I feel like I let her down. I was so convinced. I was like, I'm going to bring this crowd around. They're going to pay attention to me. And they did, but for all the wrong reasons. But I'm not going to do that on Friday. But I'm really... I'm moving a few things around. I think I'm going to do the gas station joke in the middle of my set. And then I'm going to talk about my glasses thing, the story that I was telling you guys about, and the matches debate thing a couple weeks ago. You don't remember that?
You're staring at me like I'm going to fucking remember that, you crazy bastard.
All right. And then I'm going to do the Grand Theft Auto joke, I think. And it's all tied into poor service.
So are you? So how long of a set you're going to do?
I think we're all going to do 15, right?
No,
Me, you,
the
and
boss.
me. Huh?
You're the boss, baby.
I'm the boss. Oh yeah, I thought the three of us were going to do 15 and Carolyn 45 to whatever she wants.
Sounds good to me.
Because I'm not lighting her.
Yeah, we don't even need a host, right? With that amount of people, just tag unless we're going to do a guest spot.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Again, do you think I'm going to remember anything from a couple weeks ago? You think I'm going to remember fucking anything?
Do you think that's a good flow, right? Like, do you see where I'm going with, like, the service thing of the end of the gas station joke? You know, like, you can't get good service like that anymore.
And then
and you don't remember the glass thing, so it actually doesn't matter. It doesn't even.
Yeah.
You might remember the Grand Theft Auto joke, but.
Oh, I do remember the glasses thing. Yeah, it didn't make sense to me. That's why because I remember it. I'm like, yeah, you need to update your subscription.
Oh, don't make me go off on the rant. I was so mad that day.
Go off on the rant. Let me hear it. I want to hear it in person because in text it didn't make sense to me. I want to see, why are you angry?
Well, I'm angry because this isn't the joke, but this is what it was. So I broke my glasses, and I called Lens Crafters and said, I broke my glasses. I just need. What?
You were on the phone and you were like, I broke my glasses.
Yeah, it's essentially what happened. I said, listen, I broke my glasses. I just want the same frame, same lens. I bought them there a while back. I just want the same thing. Put them together. I will come buy them. I will pay you cash money. And so she looks it up. She goes, "I'm sorry, sir. I can't do that. Your prescription's expired." And I was like, "My prescription for curved glass is expired. Like, I'm not trying to get fucking high here, right? Like, I just want to see where I'm driving."
No, see, it still doesn't make sense because it's like, how long ago did you buy the glasses?
It was a little over 2 years ago. It was like 2.5 or 3 years ago. So I'm just out of the window. But my point is, a prescription is for medication, not for me to be able to see my kids smile.
No, it's for liability, you dumbass. Because if they, what happens if you give some
put truth into it?
Well, think about it for 5 seconds and you
have.
go, they make you do that because if your eyes are not calibrated to the prescription of glasses that you have, it'll do damage to your eyes. And
I can go to Walgreens and buy some leopard print fucking plus 1.8 readers.
Yeah, that's different.
If I want. There's no liability there. If I sign a waiver and say, I just want the same fucking glasses, they should do it.
Well, the liability is that a doctor prescribed them. To you dickhead.
A doctor prescribes medicine based on your weight and how much of a shitty eater you are.
Yeah, but do any prescriptions in the world last more than 2 years that you can just keep refilling without going to see another doctor?
Lens. You could. Okay, cool. Yeah, you prescribe. I prescribe that you need this curvature for your glasses. But if I decide I want to buy the same curvature over and over again, that's up to me.
What if it does damage to you is what I'm saying, and that a doctor would have prevented that, and then they're trying to just save you from that, and for the reason of he prescribed it, so he can't let you do that to yourself. It's like why you can't keep refilling prednisone over and over again.
Does a doctor come and slap a cookie out of your fat face? No.
No, but he doesn't prescribe cookies. If he prescribed the same dosage of cookies, you would need to go get another one after a certain amount of time.
Maybe.
100%. This is a crazy premise. You are so wrong.
I'm not wrong.
Everybody's being reasonable but you.
Anthony, I was so mad because
I know for no reason.
No, because I don't have the time at the moment. I will in like a week or two. I don't have the time to go have a whole brand new eye exam.
Oh, well, that's on you, not them.
They say this on me, but I just wanted something to make it, because here's the thing.
I wanted them to break the rules for me, and because they didn't, I am writing a joke about how much they're dicks.
Everybody does that. If I didn't break
everybody does that.
If I didn't break these, I would just keep wearing them because they work. I can read them. Do you know how much my prescription has changed since I got them 20 years ago?
Probably not much.
Minimal amount. And that's what
they don't make laws based on the experience of one very sad man. They do it based off of
my body.
Listen, if you were talking about getting rid of a baby inside of you, I'd be all about it. I'd be like, get that thing out of there. But don't you dare change your glasses without going to see a guy.
Well, we'll update next week because I think I'm going to rant on that a little bit, and we'll see how it goes. It's probably
I'm going to yell at you for this. It doesn't go in making sense.
Yeah, you better keep your whore mouth shut. I'll tell you that.
Listen, I'm not saying, because I don't know what works. That joke might be hilarious how you rant on it. I'm just saying you're a dick and you're wrong, and practically. That's all.
I know I'm a dick. I can still be mad about it.
How dare this doctor not commit malpractice for me?
It's a piece of glass.
That could fuck your eyes up.
Any piece of glass can fuck your eyes up.
Yeah, but one is prescribed by a doctor to give you to literally not fuck your eyes up.
But not having glasses kind of fuck my eyes up too.
Would not having glasses? I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. Don't your eyes get Yeah. You're grasping at moral straws here, Wayne. You are a dick and you're wrong, but that's okay.
Listen, I want everybody to do their job with as little care as I do mine, and just do what people want them to do.
Listen, that's what America's doing right now. That's what we're all trying to do. We're all trying to. I was thinking about this the other day. The work for if you could measure how much jerking off went up when work from home started, if you could measure it, the amount of loads that has increased, I think it's like enough to cause more global warming. Like it's like that much fossil fuel.
That would depend on well, there's so many factors in play there. The people that are working from home, are they married? And are their spouses also working from home?
Why would that matter?
Do you just sit on the couch when your wife's watching fucking Downton Abbey and just start cranking it?
I would.
Oh no, I don't. I'll bring this up after. Continue.
No, go ahead. Tell me about you cranking it to Downton Abbey.
Not me. No. Did I ever tell you about the delivery driver that goes to one of my customers and his alcohol problem?
No.
I'll keep this quick. So he had a severe alcohol problem. He was drinking on the job, got caught. So due to like a company policy, whatever, they were like, listen, you're either going to lose your job or you're going to have to go to rehab and you can keep your job. So he goes to rehab. He's in a room with a tweaker. So eventually the first night, he's there. He's got a tweaker over here, laying in bed. He's hooked up to all this heart monitor shit, to like, because he's supposed to be detoxing and all that. Late at night, tweaker falls asleep. This guy goes, I'm going to crank one out real quick. So he starts going to town. His heart rate goes up. Sets off the heart monitors. The nurse is busting the door while he's mid-stroke, going, "What happened? Are you okay?" Okay. And he's like, "I'm all right." I heard about this second source because he told the people that I know, and I said, "Why the hell would he tell you that?" And they're like, "We don't fucking know, but we love this story, so we're telling everybody we know."
Yeah, I mean, it is a fantastic story in the sense of a medical professional will always create a conspiracy theory rather than allow you to just die by jerking off. And you're like, what are you talking about, Anthony? Let me explain. Robin Williams, how did he die?
Suicide.
Suicide, right?
Yeah.
Wrong. Oh,
yeah?
So he was found naked in a chair with his belt around his neck tied to a doorknob.
You know what's wild about that?
Your boy was just cranking it, Wayne. That's all he was doing in there. He was cranking it, and he just went too far.
True?
Yeah, that's what people are. This is my own theory. So we're getting original Anthony thoughts here, but the facts do remain. They say he hung himself, or I don't know if we're allowed to say this on YouTube. All the things I'm saying, but he did. But he was naked in a chair with a belt around his neck on a door, on knob, which is very, very famously how you jerk it while you're choking yourself. That's how it's done. That's how you do it.
Have you ever seen the movie World's Greatest Dad?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He does that in there.
Well, the kid does. That was a great movie, by the way.
He dies, right? Doesn't the kid die doing it?
The kid dies. The kid. So basically, without spoiling,
that's how he died.
The kid was an asshole. He died by self asphyxiation while masturbating, and then everybody hated him, but the dad hated him too. The dad was Robin Williams. Didn't want people to think poorly of him, so he put him up in the closet like he was hanging, and then wrote this mess, this letter saying basically this whole thing, I can't live anymore, blah 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 blah. It got spread out throughout the school, and then the kid became this hero, and it was I loved him, but everybody hated him, and that's what the whole thing was about. It was an incredible movie. You're
blowing my mind. This is exactly what happened in real life to Robin Williams, because no one ever says that he was jerking off, because no one has ever said that, but he obviously was. You're not gonna kill yourself by getting naked and sitting in a chair with a belt. First of all, most unflattering pose you could be found in. Who wants to be found in the most unflattering pose you can be found in? If you're going to do it, if you do the whole chair and the whole rafters thing, that's the most, you're going to look slender. You're going to look good. You're going to look great if you do that. But the fact that he was in that position means that it was an accident. It completely happened by accident. I'm 100% sure of that. And everybody's no medical professional will say that. They're going to say he killed himself. And they're going to say he purposefully did it. But your boy was just trying to crank it. And who could blame him?
Yeah, I have nothing on that. I get nothing. I have nothing. You're blowing my mind because I didn't know any of those facts aside from he was found.
Yep,
hung.
Goddamn right. See, this is the best. I'm
But if
starting
he was sitting in a chair, he wasn't
sure.
really hung, unless they were talking about his nakedness. Maybe he was hung. I don't know.
That you never see it. They just say like Robin Williams died by suicide, hanging himself, all that stuff. Because they're never gonna. That's really embarrassing to talk about that.
Is there such thing as like accidental suicide?
Yeah, that's what he did. He accidentally killed
I mean,
himself.
like this is manslaughter, right? Where you don't mean to kill somebody. What's the word for accidental suicide?
You know what? You know the guys who do parkour on top of buildings and film themselves and they like hang off and all that? If they fall, they killed themselves. There's no way that you can say that they didn't accidentally suicide themselves. Unalive themselves. Sorry, YouTube.
Yeah, that's going to take it all back. I'm not editing any of that shit out, by the way.
I'm just...
Ain't nobody
listen.
for that.
Nobody can smear Robin Williams' name, is all I'm saying. Because he was fine. He was just trying to crank it. We've all been there. He's just Robin Williams. You can't do it like me and you can, Wayne. You can't just, hide in our downstairs clothes closet and like do the wine. It's great if you pretend that you're in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but you just go behind the coats and jerk it. Because it's like you might as well be in Narnia because it's really just the greatest, warmest place in the world. And
you go to Cracker Barrel too?
Yeah. The Cracker Barrel clothes jacket closet. That's prime A. So Robin Williams doesn't have access to Cracker Barrel clothes closets because he's so famous. So what else can he do other than... You're going to look this up and they're going to be like, he didn't kill himself that way.
I don't know if
they
you're
made all that up.
Diatribe and you're completely bullshitting me, but I believe it.
I am 95% sure that everything I said was right. That's pretty good odds. Like, I will tell you if I'm at a 60%. And I'm at a 95 here. That's the facts of the case. And I think it's like if I was...
Aliens.
I was right about aliens. I think. Probably not, actually. I think they're all fucking... I think they're all screwing us. Jerry? What are you laughing at?
What's
over my head?
Chicago incident or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Drinking again?
Oh, man, that is the greatest of all. And I'm like, see, proof of aliens. I'm so fucking stupid. Yeah, they're doing the fucking book tours now that they're doing. It's driving me nuts. They're all grifters, it turns out. Lou Elizondo, 3 episodes we did talking about him. I said I would do a lot of sexual things to him in the podcast, it turns out.
Yeah.
Plenty of them. I mean, God damn it, still stands, but I just want to say that he's going to every city winery in the United States and doing sold out shows, and I'm like, man, you're making millions, and you still haven't shown me the spacecraft yet. What the fuck? They're grifting me, Wayne. Yeah. I bought a stupid Bob Lazar poster. It cost me $100. Damn it.
Is he making a ton of money off it? I feel like Bob Lazar is just like not making a shit ton of money off it and he's just sticking with the story for 40 years.
He sold a $100 poster to me. And he sold thousands of those.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he's crushing it.
You were also the one paying for prescription lenses. So you're a gullible bitch.
Dumb bitch. And you're like, being blind is cool.
Can you do a Godfrey impression? That was a good Godfrey face.
The Jews are bad.
You know what I love about that? The best thing about an impression, it was horrible. But the best thing about it is your wife 2 rooms over. That's all you hear. Because you've been talking normally until you scream the Jews are back.
That was pretty good.
I loved it. It was good. It was good. I miss Godfrey. I wish he was still around.
I do too. I love his aristocrats. His aristocrats is better than everything else. And then that dog comes in the room.
I saw a kid do a version of the Aristocrats at Strange Brew one time. I'll tell you his name after. I remember his name. I know who it is, and you probably know who it is too.
How was it?
But
was it bad?
I feel like about maybe a minute in, I knew what he was doing. So for me, it was just kind of like, oh, okay. But people
Did he have like a spin on it, like, or did he just do the aristocrats?
He did have a little bit of a spin. He had his own spin to it, but it's just, my line. It wasn't for me.
Not for Wayne.
Not for Wayne.
I mean, if you do an original take on the aristocrats, you got me. That's pretty cool. Is Emo Phillips coming to town?
Yeah,
Isn't that awesome?
I gotta make sure I can go to that. I'm pretty sure I can. But
There's 2 shows, 2 days in a row. He's doing Friday and Saturday.
at
Different
McHugh's?
venues, though. No, doing
different
McHugh's on
venues.
Friday and then doing the Rockwell for Boston Comedy Festival on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
He's
April
the greatest.
4th, right? It'd be April 4th and 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emo's so good.
So goddamn good. He's in the show Crashing. And for
Was he really?
Yeah, he did.
Still haven't watched it.
They're basically, the scene is one of the main characters. So Pete Holmes, his girlfriend in the show, gets a late night special. And I guess spoilers, but I don't know. Who gives a fuck? Who spoiled the show Crashing? Eat shit.
Yeah,
because
countdown. You have 3 seconds to fast forward 45
3,
seconds.
2, fuck you. So they, Pete Holmes' girlfriend is getting a comedy special, a late night spot, and she does Seth Meyers. And so they all meet at the Comedy Cellar, all the comedians, to watch her late night spot. But Emo Phillips comes in randomly to do a set at the Cellar, and all the comedians are like, oh shit! So they have to decide whether to watch her or go watch all of them are like, he's my favorite comedian of all time. So it's kind of cool. They all ogle over him, and they show a couple jokes on there. And it's pretty good. I think the joke that one of them they had was, I get in trouble for not opening the door for women. I just swim for the surface. And it's he does it in his emo way, and it's just like, man, it's just such a goddamn good joke.
He's one of those people where he's one of those comics. I think he's one of the most underrated comics, and I don't know if it's to his detriment, but it is the character. It's the hands up and the hair and the inflections in the voice. I think he turns some people off, but for those who can stick around and listen, it makes the joke. Like, me and you couldn't do that joke. It would, if we did, it would probably get a laugh. But when you watch Emo, you're like, oh, I believe that guy would do that. You know?
Well, but here's a good question. I don't know the answer to this, and I don't know if you do too, because I don't think you've seen him headline before.
Emo?
Can he? Yeah. Have you seen him?
No,
headline?
I've only seen him. I saw him open live for Weird Al. That was it. This is the only time I've seen him live.
And we do like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's probably 15, 20. It was a few years ago. I don't remember exactly, but yeah.
So yeah, is an hour of Emo doing that going to be good for the whole hour? I'm not saying it's not. I don't know, because that, like you said, it's a lot of fucking character.
Well, I think that's to his benefit, that part of it. Where if you are an Emo fan, I could watch Emo for 2 hours, right? I think if somebody is like, I could put up with this guy for a little bit, let's check him out. Maybe it's too much. But for somebody like me, where I love Emo, I could sit there and watch him for the hour, no problem. And be like, oh, where'd that go? Where'd that time go?
Yeah, I bet he's dialed in. So I bet he takes her on a little journey. But yeah, that must be nerve-wracking to be in such character, because like, if the crowd's talking, is he going to call out the crowd? I don't think he's ever going to do anything like that. He's just going to do his jokes, right? I don't know if he's
I
like.
bet he would.
You think he comes out of the act?
I mean in that character, he has to have some great shut up lines.
I don't know. Like, look at Casey Crawford, who's incredible, but he just does it, you know. And
Casey Crawford is incredible. You're talking about
the best of all time. I get it.
Versus 40.
It's true, but they're both one-liners, is why I compared them. I don't know if that style just leads you more towards you're like, I got to stay in the pocket here, because it also, like, if you're doing. Like, if I'm doing 20 minutes and I'm doing 40 jokes in 20 minutes, let's say, one-liners over and over and over again. If I bomb 3 of them, I don't think I'm going to care at all. I think I'm going to be like, on to the next one. I think that's how, because one-liners are so rapid-paced that they're not all going to work, and they're probably used to that. So they probably just move on to it. Where if you have 5 jokes in 20 minutes that you're really trying to do, you know, they're longer things, and you build it all up, and you're like, ha-ha, and you get nothing, then you kind of have to call it out, or the room gets awkward. You can't just move it. So I think it's different.
That is a good point.
Right?
I still think Emo has something in the pocket. If somebody's being overly disruptive, he has to have something.
Let's heckle him. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's get the shit kicked out of us by a 90-year-old, 105-pound man.
When I saw him open for Weird Al, he had like a gold and black suit on, like a onesie suit. It was incredible.
I've seen that suit. It's a pretty sweet suit. It's like pretty glittery.
Yeah. It was a wild suit.
I want. Do you ever? That's a good question. Do you have any urge in you to wear a suit on stage? Yeah, I know you're full of dastardly urges. You fucking sick man. But I mean, specifically for comedy, do you ever have the urge to wear a suit on stage? Like, do a show, like let's say you did a theater, and you're like, man, it'd be classy to do my jokes in a suit. Or you're like, never.
I don't. So in the beginning, I was wearing. I had actually my Weird Al shirt that I got. I got a Weird Al Hawaiian shirt with Twinkie Wiener sandwiches.
I fucking forgot Weird Al Hawaiian shirt. Wayne, that was a whole thing. So every show you got comments on that.
Yeah, I'd always wear them to the open mics, and people would remember me like, oh shit, yeah, this guy. So I just kept wearing it, and I got that actually at the show I saw Emo at. Then I just stopped wearing it. I was like, yeah, all right, I think I'm done with that. I forget who it was. Somebody gave some advice like, hey, maybe this is a good piece of advice. I don't know how you feel about it now, but we got it. I think on this podcast was, don't wear anything that's distracting. So if you're wearing something with a lot of print on it, like that shirt, people are paying more attention to like, what the fuck is on his shirt? Is that Weird Al's face? Is that a gerbil? Nope, it's a hamster. Oh, okay. They're not paying attention to your jokes. So I was like, oh fuck, all right. So I stopped wearing that, and I just went to like plain t-shirts. Anyways, no,
I agree to a point.
Yeah, I don't want to wear a suit. Now my go-to is either khakis or jeans and a black button-up that I wear.
I know what your go-to is. I'm saying like because I wouldn't want to always wear a suit, obviously, but there is a slight part of me that's like, man, if I got to do stand-up at, like, let's call it like I don't want to say the Oscars because that's a tuxedo, but I mean like you're doing a really high-end event like a fucking governor's ball or some shit, and they're like,
you might end up having to, but no, I don't think I would. I don't think I'd want to.
I think it would just be so cool to just be like, I'm doing stand-up in a I'm talking about this crazy shit in a suit, like, because the situation demands it. That's pretty sweet.
You know, it might be funny if you just wore it like
just wore it where it doesn't
at like a dive bar.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be funny.
Friday, yeah, just wear a suit up there.
Like, thank you all for coming. You go into a dive bar. You get on stage with a suit on, full blown suit, and then you do anal equity. That would be the funniest shit anybody's ever seen.
Well, there's a comedian at Biddeford called Nick is Cute, and they're roasting him next week. I think actually, I think it's this week that this show comes out. I think they're doing a roast on Wednesday. Look him up. But anyways, he wears a pink, like the Pink Panther suit. Nice suit. Like white shoes, the whole thing. And he wears it like sometimes to open mics, but all the time to shows. And every time I'm like, God damn, that's awesome.
There's something to be said about that, though. And this was kind of my point with like the Weird Al shirt was people will remember you. Like I've gotten recognized, from different shows. Like probably not a lot, 3 or 4 times. I've had people come up, hey, I saw you at this place, I saw you at that place, and I'm just a generic create a wrestler, put the weight all the way up to max, and take the hair off looking guy.
You do look like it. Looks like you were like, you know what? I want to be Kane, but I want him to be 5'6".
Yeah. I'm like a more unkempt butterbean without the cardio.
That's you're just butter.
Just butter.
Just butter.
So my point is, I've gotten recognized just off of this. But imagine if you had like a visual shtick. I will say, and then I say shtick in like not like a
No, those are shticks. Those are always shticks.
Way, but like, hey, this guy always has an 8-ball T-shirt on or something like that. Like I remember this guy; he had the same shirt on before.
I am in favor.
I always do wear the button-up shirt. I have the same look every time I go out, but it's not like this in-your-face shit.
No, it's a button-up from George by Walmart. And anyways, it is. I guarantee it. I have never seen the tag.
Was it for George?
But I guarantee it.
What is George?
It's George. Look at your tag. I don't even think you know.
I'll look.
If it says George,
If it is, there will be a big thing right here that says it's from George.
It's from George. George by Walmart. What a fucking stupid name. Like they're like, all right, listen, we sell dress shirts and we have our own brand. So we have to make this in a way where they don't feel like they're buying it from Walmart because they want to feel like they're getting something nice. So we should call it something luxurious. And the guy's like, George. They're like, brilliant. He's like, no, I'm just saying my name. And they're like, no, print. Fuck, so stupid. But here's my point on the stupid t-shirts thing. So I think that if you wear a silly t-shirt or an outfit or a whole thing, I think if it lends to your character, I'm talking about character again, I mean, like if you're a wacky comedian and you dress wacky, I think that's fine. I think that's kind of what you're meant to. You're just showing your true self, and it's going to be something that people are going to remember, and good for you for having that. Mm-hmm. But I think if you do that and then you just do normal jokes about regular things, it might just be like, why are you looking weird? That's when it's distracting. So I think it could be. But yeah, I don't know. This is really, I've learned, we have a podcast about open mics where we want to give people advice about open mics, but I am now firmly in the camp of anybody that really gives you advice about anything in comedy doesn't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, I've
you
kind
can't.
of been. Yeah, it's because one, comedy's so subjective. So
sitting on a cock because I'm gay. Sitting on a cock because I'm gay. That guy does that joke, and it is the greatest joke in the whole world. Now, if you told me to what Otis Redding that you were going to take a song and you were going to do "Sitting on a Cock 'Cause I'm Gay," and I would be like, Wayne, objectively, that's not funny. There's nothing funny about that. That's just rude and crass, and it's a good song that you're ruining there. But then you go out and you watch it, and it's magic. So how could you tell anybody what to do when that guy's out there doing that?
Yeah, I mean, comedy is subjective. I think our initial goal there was Valiant. Because we didn't know any better, but
yeah, we were trying to tell you,
trying to give people the courage to go out and do it their first time, but it's hard. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you even say to people now? Like, if somebody
I don't know, because I watch people who me and you would be like, that person sucks. And then you go out and you watch and they like scale up and they get 1 million shows and they do these great things and they crush. And you're like, I don't know then. I don't know what good comedy is. I'm wrong. And I'm wrong all the time. There are people who I'm like, you suck. And then they're objectively good by the popularity that they get.
Yep. And there's so many factors to that too. Like, it's not just your comedy. It might be your look, your age. Like, we talk about isms, right? We'll talk about isms. Like, is there an is there an ageism thing here? Like, this, like, when you look at the Boston comedy scene, the underground scene, I'll call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
All these little showcase shows that you see in Boston. How many people, will say my age and older, do you see on those shows? You know what I mean?
Well, so I've
see-
been doing those shows, so I have a good insight into this. Now, the crowds, all children, and that's true.
Right, and that's kind of my point.
Yeah, the comedians though, there was a mix.
Yeah,
I was I'm a mix in this sense. Late 30s was kind of the max. So I agree with you there that you would be the older end of the comedians that are there.
Right.
They're not doing like, 60-year-old comedians or 80-year-old comedians like we get sometimes, like the oldies. Like those aren't going to go there, and I get that. But I don't think you are. I think you can do any of them. You still fall within.
I don't know. I mean,
fine.
Obviously, like the hairline, I look older. I don't necessarily visually connect with some of the people that are going to those shows per se. You know what I mean? But then again, you look at somebody like Segura, who's balding, and at one point he was fat as well. I mean, he did. I don't know. My point is, there's so many different factors to look at. It's not always just your comedy.
Yeah, and for yours in particular, in comparison to Tom's, I don't.
He's way better.
Yeah, he's
so
incredibly better than you, so that's going to really impact that. It's basically like you've never done it before in comparison to him, so that's going to be tough for you to get through that. No, I think though that this is a thing I don't know about you yet, because you've never. Prove me wrong here, because I might be wrong. Have you done a real show in front of a college crowd, like a young-ish thing? Has that happened yet? I don't know.
A real show? No. Like a legit, opener, headliner? No, it's usually people my age and older, and you'll see scattered younger people in, like, early 20s. But majority,
So that's
30s and up.
So that's what I'm interested in. Because I know you're doing Knicks, and you're maybe in the future you get some other Boston ones. I really want to see how you navigate that. I'm really interested in it because I can't do my sets the same between the two different types. If I'm doing a Mike Katroba show where they're older, or if I'm doing Boston and they're younger.
My thing with like Knicks is I don't know what the crowd's going to be. You know what I mean? And that would make all the
Usually
difference.
younger from what I've seen.
Maybe, but they've had like Jim Colleton there, and they've had some older skewing comics there, and who knows? I mean, Tyler Hittner is headlining. I'm sure he's probably going to draw a younger crowd. So I don't know. I'm really gonna have to think about what am I going to do that night, because I'm sure
it's good.
Crowd, they're not going to want to hear about my kid unless they're mid to late 20s and they have a kid my age. I had kids late. I had my son when I was 30. Was I 33, 32, something like that? So,
well, it's going to take a long time for you to convince somebody to have sex with you. I get that. A lot of trickery.
So
a lot of
Sean
Connery videos.
I have been trying wholeheartedly to get into some of those shows down there, in Boston. But it is tough because I do have stuff about my family, my wife, my kid, all that stuff. So it may not be what they're looking for.
Yeah, but it's essential to learn. I'm doing 2 a month, baby. That's what I've been putting on the docket. 2 shows in Boston a month with kids that are in college that are going to look at me and go, I can see your hairline, Anthony. You're great. And because I did the 2 shows last week with Valencia, the comedy clubs near me, or I think is what they're called.
Comedy near me. Yep.
Yeah, they're great. Got shows all over the place. Rosebud, they got Sea Hag, Dot Tavern. And I doubled up, did Dot Tavern, Sea Hag. I don't know how much of this I talked about already, so I don't want to go too crazy. But the idea is that they were so much younger than half the age of what I was used to doing. And on purpose, I'm forcing myself to do these to feel... You do your set for long enough, and you're like, I know this is going to go good. And when your ebbs and flows are. Like, I know in the middle of my set when I do, like, if I'm going to do substitute teacher joke or kids suck or any of those, I'm like, all right, this is where I'm a little nervous about my set. Where and you're doing a younger crowd, that's the opposite. It's where I'm like, I know this is going to hit. I know they're going to like this. And then you do jokes about your kid. You're like, I don't know how they're going to like this.
Yeah.
So it's the opposite feeling that I have. But I don't know how that translates. That's why I'm so interested in seeing your stuff, because your stuff might fucking just be universal. You know what I mean? Like, it might be that it works for both. And you don't have to change it. Like Mike Gray said, like, maybe you change references, but at the same time you keep your stuff the same. Where I'm like, no, Mike, I can't keep my stuff the same.
I think
completely different jokes.
I think like the only benefit I have with my stuff about my kid and stuff is it's not, it's not necessarily about kids per se. Like I have the Great Wolf Lodge joke, and it's like, yeah, it has my kid, but then it's more about the experience of going there. Which I think everybody...
Yeah, like those kids, how could they ever relate to the Great Wolf Lodge if they're in college? You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to that.
Because maybe the first half, but the second half. Like, where they talk about the guy with the mask on. It has nothing to do with kids. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then the beginning part of it, when I talk about, where I say, they're charging me like an astonishing amount for a bottle of water. I sent my son down the water slide face first with his mouth open. Mm-hmm. It's not about kids. But think about the mental picture of just like, here you go, buddy. Open up. Like, maybe, and I don't know. I could be wrong. And, I'm probably going to do that on Saturday and next. We'll see how it goes. But it's not about the standard changing diapers and like all that shit. It's stuff like that that's kind of like kid adjacent, I would call it, maybe. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think so too.
It might eat shit, and I'm fine with that.
Do you know what you're doing for Saturday? Do you have your set ready? Like
no idea.
No idea.
No idea. I won't know till Saturday, I think. I don't know.
I actually regret how I did my last Nick set. It was I was talking to a couple people, headliners, and I got one of the beginning sets from when Nick's got into the new. I think I was the third weekend after Matt Mishi took over. Mm-hmm. So it was still very new for his show. So the advice I kept getting was like, don't fuck around. Just do 10 minutes of here's your 10-minute stuff. Mm-hmm. And, so you don't he's doing a new thing. You don't want to fuck with somebody's room when they're trying to get something off the ground, and which I completely agree with.
Yep.
But if I could have been selfish with myself, I would have liked to do it how I've been doing it lately, which is if I don't know the crowd, like if I see 35-year-olds to 55-year-olds, I don't need to. I can do tight 10 minutes, and I'm like, I know what they like. This is all gonna be. I'm not saying it's gonna work. I'm just saying I know what shot to shoot. Whether it goes in or not is gonna be a percentage game, but I know the best shot to shoot.
Yeah.
Where with the kids or with like really old, for instance, or really young, I don't know what the best shot to shoot is, so I'd like to just go out there and try a joke. If it doesn't work, try a different direction and do that, and that's way funner, but I just didn't feel comfortable the first time in Nick's fucking around like that. But I think that might be the move in a room like that.
Yeah.
For me.
I agree.
I haven't been practicing either. That's a new thing in the car. I think it helps me, but I'm forcing myself not to do it.
Yeah, I would like to get to a point where I do that. I still practice. I still try to, make sure I'm within that time frame that I need to be in.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. I none of this. Even I did a couple 7-minute sets where that had to be a little bit tighter as far as time goes, and I still no way. I'm just light me when it's done or something like that, because I realized that if you do that, if I practice in the car or something like that, I'm sounding rehearsed. I'm sounding like here's the sentence here and here's the next sentence here. And if I don't do that, and it's been like 3 days since I've done a set or something like that, I'm more conversational because I'm literally trying to remember the thought while I'm saying it. Like what, and it makes me so I say the joke differently. So I've been definitely liking that. Now I'm gonna forget a joke and I'm gonna come back on and be like, no, never do that. Always practice.
Yep.
Always fucking practice.
Probably because
I don't know.
I
I
think
think
you just practice the new stuff so you remember kind of like the hit points,
Yeah, that is. That's a good point, because I have not been practicing at all, and I've been trying new jokes in there, and I definitely am clunkier on the new jokes, because I'm trying to, like the flowers joke that I have that's new. The last show I did it on, I was having a pretty good set, but I rushed through that joke because I just didn't know where I wanted to put it. There was just a couple places that joke can go in my set, and I was like, here. And it was just I wasn't thinking properly, and I hadn't done it, and it's new, and I've only done it a couple times, and it was a little clunky. But I think that's how you get new lines.
Yep.
Got to try that.
Absolutely.
Well, all right, Wayne, I think we did enough. How do you feel?
I think we did. Feel
Do you
good.
feel like you've worthy? Is this worthy?
It is worthy,
Four.
but
See?
is there anywhere you're going to be this weekend? Next weekend?
Quest.
Anything you want to plug? We never plug. Let's plug.
You caught me. Yeah, I'm booked every goddamn weekend. Let me think of when this is coming out. So this weekend is Sidebar, an ROMP beautiful show.
This is gonna be after that.
This is after that,
next
but
weekend.
we're still gonna say it because I'm excited about it. And then got a fundraiser on last Saturday, and then after this weekend, Friday, I'm in Sanctuary in Maynard.
Maynard, Mass, right?
Maynard, Mass, with Will Noonan, Tookie Kavanaugh, and Kathy Guilford,
Kathy Guilford,
I
yeah.
think.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what it is. And then Saturday, I'm with the boy Ken Rogerson, the Viper. The Viper. I'm with the Viper in which I'm super fucking pumped about, and Joe Espy at the Firehouse in Newburyport, which looks
Nice.
like theater sized. It looks fucking awesome. I can't wait to see that.
That's cool.
It's a performing arts center, so I think that I got to add that into the tier of shows now, because you see clubs, function halls, and then there's a level above that's performing arts center. That's not a theater, but is not also a club. It's like the 200 seat range and all that. But yeah, those are cool. How about you?
Yeah, Friday I'm at the Beer Garten hosting for Mike Katrobis, Mic'd Up Comedy Productions. Jim McHugh's the headliner there. Saturday
cool.
I'm doing I think it's a fundraiser, but I think it's a private fundraiser. I think they probably sold out with Steve Bjork, and I believe Mike Katrobis is actually on that show as well.
Oh,
So-
cool. Do you know what the fundraiser is fundraising?
I don't. I'm actually waiting on all that information.
Yeah, I
know
just
that
got
I'm
my
doing
information
something
yesterday too
there.
from him.
Steve texted me. He's like, "You available this day?" I was like, "Yes, I am." He goes, "You're not anymore," and I could be taking coats or I could be telling jokes. I have no idea what I'm doing.
That'd be sick
No.
if they had you just go there and run the soundboard or something. And you're like, fuck.
That would be incredible.
Yeah, the weekend after I'm doing it's Bjork, Katrobis, and Carolyn Plummer and a triple headliner show,
Holy shit!
and me. Yeah, which sucks because everybody's like,
Where is
look at
that?
all the Portsmouth at the
Damn, I have nothing. I
place-
don't think I have anything going. I might have to go to that because 3 out of my 4 favorite comics are there.
yeah, Bill, you should come check it out. It's the first show that they're going to do with this. I know, yeah, I know.
No, I love all you guys. That's an incredible show.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be designed to be like the dwarf sacrificial lamb of just like, here, everybody, shut up while you listen to this dumbass.
Yep.
And then by the time
you're like a
I'm
fluff girl.
a little fluffer. Yeah. That's a respectable job. That's a respectable job. Because the older you get, the more you realize how hard it is to get a boner. And you're like, man, imagine a person that could, like, you're in the supermarket and they can just, like, flick you in the balls and you're like, oh my God. And you're just immediately, like, that's a skill.
Yep.
That's what I've learned now, that there's nothing in life, there's not one thing in life that if you do over and over and over again, that you won't develop a real skill at it. And that's really the message that I want everybody who could possibly be listening to take from. If you do anything, jerk off. Jerk off 1,000 times a day. If you do that time, put the 10,000 hours in, you'll be a master at it. You will master bait. Bye. Go, you stupid bitch.